the Brahma Rishi that he wanted to become. So just to give you an idea, he has been meditating for more than thousands of years. Okay. And every time he spent his credits that he got from tapas on creating a separate heaven, like where Indra and all the devas are living, for someone who came and asked him to go to heaven in the same human body, a king by name Trishanku. Just 1 second. Okay. So like that, he's been not able to attain his goal to be a Brahma Rishi, because Brahma, even after thousands of years, came and said that you are not a Jitendriya. So the word Jitendriya means to be someone who has all his 5 senses under his control. What are the 5 senses? Skin, touch, taste, smell, sight, and sound. Okay. So someone who has all the 5 senses under control will have all the emotions also under control. But Vishwamitra is very short-tempered. At the same time, he's very compassionate. At the same time, he's very determined, who is able to meditate for so many years. So like all of us, he's got all of these different aspects about him. But to become somebody as to the position of Brahma Rishi means they have to be someone who has got all their 5 senses under their control. That means he has to lose his short-temperedness. You know, symbology in have you seen Krishna? How many horses does he have? Picture of Krishna, do you remember? A common picture.
I think 8.
8, is it? Let's just bring that up quickly. I want to show it to you.
I said 3.
3, is it?
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Krishna with chariot.
It's 4.
Is it 4?
No, it's 5.
Yeah, I want to see properly.
It's 5. That one has 4, but the other ones have 5.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 5. I'm just trying to see.
The one on the bottom,
So this
right?
is symbology to say Krishna is God, right? He's got harness of all the 5 senses. The 5 horses resembles is the 5 senses. Is symbolized by 5 senses. Okay, and he's got everything under his control. The harness is in his hand, right, of the horse. It is to show that he is a Jitendriya. He's got all his Indriyas. Indriyas mean senses under his control. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Okay. Also the 5, the serpent on which he sits, it's got 5 heads. Yeah. And he's on top of it. So that means it is a slave to him. It is under him. Okay. All these are symbology to show the yogic culture of this way of life, Hindu way of life. Okay. So let's continue this chapter now. 27, not continue, I'm starting 27, Vishwamitra, the Brahma Rishi. So at this point, Vishwamitra is going back to meditate again because he realizes that he is not happy with what he has achieved, and he wants to go back. Indra is going on sending him one apsaras, beautiful women from heaven to disturb him and distract him. First, Menaka came, then he got distracted for 10 years. Now he sent Ramba But this time Vishwamitra became alert and he said, no, get away from here. And I want to continue my meditation. So he's going further and he's meditating
He
because he wants
cursed
to.
Ramba.
Sorry?
He
He cursed.
cursed Ramba.
Yes, he cursed Ramba also. Okay. So Kaushika abandoned the north and Kaushika is Vishwamitra. Okay. Kaushika abandoned the north and walked towards the east. And there again he performed his tapas. For 1,000 years he was silent, and the world and the heavens were all being burnt up by the fire of his penance. He had become as thin as a twig, and he had surmounted several obstacles placed in the way of his achievement. He banished anger from his mind completely. One day he broke his fast and cooked some rice for himself. Just he was about to eat it, Indra, taking the form of a Brahmin, came to him and begged him for food. Kaushika spoke not a word but gave the entire food to the Brahmin and went back to his meditation without eating. His tapas became more and more fierce. Even the air which he was breathing, he controlled so that he could stay without breathing for a long while. Smoke began to emanate from his head, and the worlds were suffering because of his penance. And the Devas and others went to Brahma and told him, Kaushika now glows with the greatness of his tapas. If you do not grant him what he has been wanting all these years, his tapas is sure to destroy all the three worlds. His glory is so great that even the sun and fire have lost their luster. The seas are lashing their waves in torment, and the mountains are spitting fire. The earth is trembling, and there is storm everywhere. Kaushika is like the great fire at the end of the yuga, and it is up to you to save the universe from him. Brahma hurried to the presence of Kaushika and said, we welcome you, Brahma Rishi. We have been pleased with the tapas you have performed. With your efforts, you have achieved the status of Brahma Rishi. You will live very long. May you prosper. A thin flash of pleasure lit up the face of Kaushika. He prostrated before Brahma and said, if what you have granted me is really true, if I am a Brahma Rishi, if I am long lived by your grace, let the Vedas accept me as Brahma Rishi. I have but one desire. Vashishta, your son, should recognize me as such. They brought Vashishta to the presence of the great Kaushika, and he smiled with affection at Kaushika and said, you're a great man, Brahma Rishi. There is no doubt about it. Kaushika honored Vashishta and he was free to go as he pleased. The thought that he had achieved the seemingly impossible made him happy, but he was not proud nor conceited. He was ever bent on doing good to others, and he was called Vishwamitra, the friend of the universe. Vishwa means universe, okay, in Sanskrit. Mitra means friend. So Vishwamitra means the friend of the universe. So he is not having any enmity with Vashishta anymore, because in the first place, why did he start meditating? You remember? Anyone? Do you remember?
So he could it started when he wanted Kamatena and he wanted like become as great as Vashishta, so he could be equal to him.
He wanted to vanquish Vashishta. He wanted to, yeah, he wanted to make him lose to him, but all that is gone now. He's risen above that. Okay. So Sadananda said, this great, very good, Surya. This great Vishwamitra is a very personification of tapas. Janaka stood in front of Vishwamitra and said, so Sadananda is finishing the story, okay? It's a very personification of tapas. Janaka stood in front of Vishwamitra and said, it has been an act of infinite kindness on your part to have come here to my yajna with the sons of the monarch. Today I've heard in detail the sacred story of how you became Vishwamitra, the friend of the universe. How well the name fits you, my lord. You are bent on doing nothing but good to mankind, and something tells me that you have come here to do me a great favor. The sun had nearly set and they broke up their session. The king went back to his palace and the rishis to their hermitages. Rama was silent and so was Lakshmana. The story of Vishwamitra and his struggle was too sublime to be talked about. That's the end of chapter 27 and the end of story of Vishwamitra. Shall I continue, guys? Yes, give me a thumbs up.
Yes.
Ready for more?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The bow of Mahadeva. So the bow of Mahadeva is called Shiva Dhanush, right? So we are coming back to that. Early in the morning, King Janaka went to the presence of Vishwamitra. He spoke to him and to the prince's words of welcome and added, Lord, you have come to me with the intention of blessing me. I know that. Tell me if there is anything particular which I should do. Please command me as to what should be done to make you happy. The Rishi was impressed by the humility of Janaka and he spoke in a soft, persuasive voice. As I told you yesterday, these two young men are Kshatriyas, the sons of monarch Dasharatha, and they are called Rama and Lakshmana. Their fame as archers has spread the world over. It is but natural for them to be impatient to see the bow of Mahadeva, which you've been worshipping for years. I can assure you that great good fortune is awaiting you, and the bow will be the cause of it. Ask the bow to be brought here, let them see it. King Janaka said, I will relate to the young men the story of the bow, about how it came about the house of Videhas has been honored, half the Videhas has been honored by its possession. Nimi was a famed monarch in our family, and the sixth king after him was Devarata. This bow was given to him. He had been asked to keep it with him and to guard it very carefully. As for the bow, in ancient times when Daksha performed a yaga, he insulted Mahadeva by refusing to give him his share of the Havis. The Devas who were afraid of Daksha countenanced this insult to the Lord. Mahadeva went to the Yajnashala with his bow in his hand and looking at the Devas sneeringly, he said, Since you allowed this injustice, I am going to separate your jeweled heads from your bodies. The Devas rushed to him at once and they fell at his feet and craved pardon. Mahadeva is a god who is easily incensed and easily pacified. His anger vanished and the Devas were saved. This bow was then given to my ancestor and he was asked to guard it as a treasure, as indeed it is. Once, when I was planning to perform another yajna, I was plowing the ground, and when the ground was split by the plow, I saw that in the furrow made by the plow was a beautiful child. So I'll read that again. Once, when I was planning to perform another yajna, I was plowing the ground. And when the ground was split by the plow, I saw that in the furrow made by the plow was a beautiful child. It was a delicate looking girl, and since I was then childless, I took her to my queen, and the child grew up to be my eldest daughter. Okay, discovered as she was by the tip of the plow, I have called her Sita. She seems to me to be the incarnation of Devi Lakshmi herself. She is no ordinary mortal. I decided to give her in marriage to a hero. This was after several princes came to me and asked me for her hand. I was not willing to give her away, so I told them that she can be given only to the one who can fulfill my stipulation. They asked me what it was, and I said she'll be given to the one who will lift this bow and string it. My lord, not one of them was able to even lift it. Offended by me as they thought, they joined together and surrounded Mithila on all sides, seeking to destroy me and my kingdom. I was not able to withstand the onslaught of so many kings who had combined their forces, and for a year I suffered. I performed tapas, and the Devas sent their divine army to help me. The enemies were vanquished, and Mithila was saved from destruction. This is the bow which has such a long story which goes with it. I will certainly have it brought here for Rama and Lakshmana to see. Janaka commanded his ministers to have the bow brought to the presence of Vishwamitra. They went to the palace of the king. The bow was placed so that everyone could see it. The great bow was worshipped with flowers and incense every day. It took 5,000 stalwarts to drag the cart holding the bow. The cart had 8 large wheels, and with great difficulty, the cart was dragged to where the king was seated with his guests. When the iron casket containing the bow came into view, they all stood up as one man and honored the bow of Mahadeva. Janaka stood humbly before Vishwamitra and said, "This is that famed bow which has broken the pride of so many kings. This is the bow of Mahadeva. No Deva, nor Asura, nor Yaksha has been able to lift it even, not to mention stringing it or using it. No Gandharva, nor Kinnara, nor a Rakshasa has been able to lift it. What then can be said about a mere man? Please show the bow to the princess." Vishwamitra was listening to the words of Janaka with a great deal of attention. A moment passed, and then, with a sweet and gentle smile touching his lips, Vishwamitra said, "Child Rama, go and look at the bow." Rama walked towards the casket. He opened the lid and stood staring at the magnificent bow. He stood gazing at it for a long moment. He then turned to the Rishi Vishwamitra and said, "Great one, I will now touch this great bow with my hand. I will lift it and try to string it. May I do so?" "You may," said both the Rishi and the king. Everyone was tense with excitement since Rama spoke with so much confidence. Even as thousands of eyes were watching, Rama lifted the bow as though it were just a sport. There was an audible sigh from everyone when they saw him lift it easily with his left hand. Rama stood the bow straight, and holding it with his left hand, he bent it with his right to string it. There was a noise like a clap of thunder, and those who were watching saw the great bow of Mahadeva break into two. The earth trembled at the noise, and most of the people around fell down senseless. Vishwamitra, Janaka, and the princess were the only four unaffected by the noise. When they had all recovered and when there was the semblance of normalcy restored, Janaka spoke words of great sweetness and words suited to the occasion. He said, "I still cannot believe that this has happened. I've never seen the like of it before. This Rama is the greatest among men. My dear daughter Sita is fortunate to become the bride of the house of the Ikshvakus. I had announced that I would give her to the hero who will string the bow, and Rama has done it. Permit me, my lord, to send messengers to Ayodhya. Let them relate to the monarch about the incidents here, and let the king know how his son won the hand of my daughter. Let him be told that the princes are still under your care, and let him be entreated to come to Mithila as early as possibly can." Vishwamitra was only too happy to say, "Do so by all means." Messengers were sent to Ayodhya on fleet horses, and they hurried to the great city with the glad tidings that Rama had broken the great bow of Mahadeva, and that Sita, the daughter of Janaka, was to be his bride. So, end of chapter 28. Chapter 29, Dasharatha leaves for Mithila. 3 days and 3 nights had to pass before the messengers could reach Ayodhya. They reached the palace of the king and told the doorkeepers, "We have come from Mithila and we have a message for the king. Please take us to his presence." They went to the king, and after saluting him in a manner befitting a monarch, they spoke to him and said, "Great one Janaka, the king of Mithila sends his regards to your gracious self and wants to know if all is well with you and your kingdom. He asks again and again after your welfare and that of your subjects. He now wants you to listen to a request of his, which has been approved and sanctioned by the great Rishi Vishwamitra. These are his words. I have a daughter by name Sita. I had announced to the world that she is a Virya Sulka. None of the kings who came here was able to satisfy the stipulations which I had laid down. That daughter of mine has been won now by your blessed son, who was brought to me by Vishwamitra. It is my good fortune that Rama, your eldest son, should be my son-in-law. In the presence of several rishis, kings, and citizens, the great divine bow of Mahadeva was broken by a noble son. According to my promise, Sita, my daughter, will be given to him as a prize for his prowess. Please accept my gift and honor him. Please come to Mithila as early as possible, accompanied by your preceptors. Your sons are eager to be reunited with you. You must be gracious enough to say, let me keep my promise and let me give my child to your son. The messengers continued, advised by the sage Vishwamitra and by his own guru Sadananda, our king has asked us to convey to you this message. Please let us also add our entreaties and request you to come to our city. They waited eagerly for the king's reply. Dasharatha, happy beyond words, looked at Vashishta and Vamadeva and other ministers in the court and said, so the children have gone to Videha with Vishwamitra? As you have all heard, Rama's prowess has won the admiration of everyone. Janaka is eager to perform the wedding as early as possible. If you are all agreeable to it, we will at once leave for Mithila. Let us not lose time. There was nothing but happiness in the hearts of everyone in Ayodhya. It was decided to leave for Mithila early in the morning. The tired messengers from Mithila were duly honored and they spent the nights peacefully. Okay. So that is end of chapter 29. Okay. Shall we have some quiz time now to see if we remember some details? Okay, question number 1. How many days and nights did it take for the messenger to reach from Mithila to Ayodhya?
3 days and 3 nights.
Oh, wow. Excellent. Excellent, Surya, Arna, Adya. Very good. Okay, who is the guru of Janaka?
Vishishta.
Sudananda.
Sadananda. Okay, Sadananda. It's not Vashishta. Sadananda. Very good. Next question. Who does the Shiva Dhanush belong to? Whose is it?
The king of Mithila.
The king of Mithila.
No, he is he's taking care of it. It's with him. Who does it belong to?
Shiva.
Shiva.
Lord Shiva.
Shiva.
Excellent. And when did Shiva use it first?
When he was going to attack the Devas.
Devas. Why? Why?
Because someone insulted him and the Devas didn't do anything about it.
Excellent. Daksha. The someone was Daksha. It's actually his own father-in-law. Okay, Parvati's father did not call Shiva for this yajna, and Devas didn't do anything. So he got angry and he went with the Dhanush there. And where does Sita come from?
When they were
Plowing the land.
Plowing the land, she came. So she's like Bhuma Devi. She came from earth and she was named Sita because of that. Okay, one last question. What shall I ask? What sound is that? Okay, so who gave Vishwamitra the name Vishwamitra?
the world.
Hmm?
I don't know.
Brahma. Okay. Okay, so that's the end of today's reading. Tomorrow it will be number 30 in Mithila. Okay, what was the most interesting part of today's story? Adya?
Yes. Okay. That Ramji pulled up the I think it's the mountain. No, the bow.
Yes, amazing, right? 5,000 people had to pull it and come, but he was able to carry it. That was amazing. And Arna, what was it for you?
That was probably the same. I also enjoyed like how they also like said like how he was able to lift it in front of like all those people. Like it looked like he could do like lift anything. Like he was
Yeah,
lifting it very calmly and
just with
easy.
his left hand. Yeah, that was amazing. Surya, what did you learn something? Did you learn something new?
Uh,
Laya?
not really sure.
I like learned some new words,
Mm-hmm.
like
Name
why
some.
and also like why Sita was named Sita.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Arna, Adya? Did you learn something new?
Uh,
I also learned like different journeys of what happened like at
Hmm.
different times.
What about the 5 horses of Krishna?
Yeah, that was interesting.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
that
I
was
was going to say. I
interesting.
just remembered it.
Yeah, yeah. So what was the word you learned for that? Jitendriya. Say it after me,
Yeah.
Jitendriya.
Vegetarian.
Jitendriya. And Vishwamitra
Jitendriya.
means friend of the universe. Vishwamitra.
End of the universe.
Vishwa means universe, Mitra means friend. Jitendriya means Jit is winning and Indriya
Control of
means
all the
senses. Okay. All right. Excellent. You are all so attentive and giving all the answers. That's really encouraging for us to keep continuing. And guess what? How much we finished? We finished so much of the book already. So we are in page 91. Okay. Let's say our closing prayers now. Close your eyes. Mind straight. Take a deep breath. And let's chant Om 3 times. Om.
Mm.
Om.
Oh.
Om.
Oh.
Om.
Purnamada
Purnamidam.
Purnamidam
Purna.
Purnat
Purnamudachyate.
Purnamudachyate
Purnasya.
Purnasya
Purnamadaya.
Purnamaya
Purnameva.
Purnameva
Vashishyate.
Vashishyate.
Om.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Shanti. Beautiful. Have a good night, everyone. See you
Have a
tomorrow.
good night.